Okay. All right. So our office is located in the Calvin E. Bright Success Center in room Collegian Library 222. And I have my email information up there and my phone number as well. Okay. So within our office, we're made up of myself, a student program coordinator, and then a program assistant, and then 5 to 6 student coordinators as well. Today we'll be talking about our resources programs, outreach efforts. We'll get into a little bit on the AB 540 form, and then the waiver for the UC ship insurance as well. And then we'll wrap up with any questions towards the end. All right, so at UC Merced, within Services for Undocumented Students, our mission is to be committed to empowering undocumented students to achieve their academic, professional, and personal goals. We strive to build a community of scholars among the undocumented community at UC Merced. Through collaborations within the campus and Merced community, we aim to provide a safe and inclusive environment for all undocumented students. Our vision is that we will promote the advancement of undocumented students within higher education.
These are our program pillars. So we have resilience, which is we build resilience by uplifting, celebrating, and encouraging ownership of our students' stories and experiences. Community, we build a community of scholars through our programs because it is an essential component to academic, professional, and personal success. As well as support, we build a supportive environment through a holistic and individualized approach, focusing on our students' potential and not their perceived limits.
Yes. So if you look at these pillars, a lot of the work that we do from events to outreach programs to everything that we as an office stand for, it's based on these 3 pillars. And you can also find these pillars within our logo towards the right. You'll see resilience, community support. And you can also see within the logo, there's 3 very important symbols to us. The graduation cap, because we want our students to attend UC Merced and graduate. The fist of resistance, because our students and the experiences that they have as students of color on our campus in itself is a form of resistance. And then the antennas at the top is the New Beginning statue that we have here on campus. All right, so at UC Merced, this is data from this past year. But we have 8,544 students, and out of those students, we have 575 undocumented students, and that includes graduate students, which we currently have 15 undocumented graduate students, both in the master's level and also in the PhD level as well. All right, so one major question that I always receive, I'll go back, it's in regards to our to the AB 540 form. And this is something that you'll submit after submitting your SIR and after submitting your high school or community college transcripts. This has to happen in order for you to get access to the AB 540 form, and you can access it and submit it in a couple of different ways. You can either submit it via email at slr@ucmerced.edu, or you can also submit it through your online portal, and there should be a way to submit it that way. And lastly, you can submit it in person. However, it is recommended you submit it either online or that you submit it through the online portal as well, so then nothing is lost. And then it does take a while for this to actually go into effect. Sometimes it's not until July. Sometimes I have seen students not have their tuition waived up until like a week before classes. So please don't get discouraged, and please don't end up taking retreating your admission because you haven't seen the change on your financial aid package.
I know for me, I didn't get it until August, right 2 weeks before we started. And even then, now when I do check my my tuition and my financial aid, it still says that I have to pay out-of-state tuition. But in your bill, once you have your bill, it shouldn't say that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Kayla. Yes. Okay. Dustin, are you checking for questions?
Yeah, there's a question in the chat right now.
Okay.
The question is, will my financial aid be affected after I submit my 8540?
Yes. So, like Kayla mentioned, the change isn't. It's not going to happen immediately. It's not going to happen either overnight or even within several weeks. Sometimes it does take a while. What you can do is check in with the email that we have up there, slr@ucmerced.edu, and where it's at in the process, if it's been processed, if it's been received. And then the change from the SLR to actually the financial aid edit usually doesn't happen, sometimes up until like 2 weeks before coming to campus.
And also, I think when it comes to the how much you're given, I don't think that's what is changed most of the time. I think it's just taking away all that money that is supposed to be for the out-of-state tuition away from your financial aid. But we'll see what you need to.
Yes. Yeah. All right, and this is what the new form looks like. Please make sure this is the one you're filling out. Sometimes students just Google the form and find a different one online. Please make sure it looks like this one. Each campus has a form specific to them. So if you're looking at other institutions as well, just remember that they're not all interchangeable, that it has to be specific for the campus you're submitting the form to. And again, just if you need any assistance in filling this form out, do email slr@ucmerced.edu. All right. Another thing that let me see if I can scroll. Another thing that we recommend for our students is if they have their own health insurance and they qualify for Medi-Cal, is to transfer their health insurance. So at UC Merced, we have the UC SHIP. And you can submit a waiver for this by contacting health services, the insurance office specifically. And a good contact person there is Crystal Reed, and I have included her number on there. It does take up to 30 days for the transfer to happen, but it would save you about $1,250 each semester. And then this waiver needs to be submitted by August 1st. They haven't released the exact date, but I wouldn't wait anything after August 1st. And I included an email, a link at the bottom, and it shows you how to waive the insurance, the UC SHIP insurance. And this is something that we covered during our key program as well, which I'll talk a little bit more about later in the presentation.
There was one question from Karina.
Yes.
If there's an error on the 8540 documents or anything else, who should they contact regarding the error?
So again, for any errors or anything regarding the AB 540 form, go directly to the slr@ucmerced.edu, and email would be, I would say, the fastest option or the best option. But if you're not getting a response through email, I can check in regarding a specific number you can call. All right. So now we're going to get a little bit into our resources and programs, and I'll hand it over to Kayla. We'll interchangeably talk about the resources and programs that we have in our office. All right. So the ways that we provide academic and social support and peer-to-peer support is through our workshops and events. Our student staff are encouraged to reach out to students, and then our students are also encouraged to reach out to our student staff in order to check in with each other. We do have access to emergency funds, so if you're ever short on funding for rent, for food, for books, for tuition, we provide some additional emergency funds. Another program or resource that's highly utilized through our office is our access to free legal support. And that legal support is extended not just to you as a student, but it's extended to any immediate family member that you have if you're attending UC Merced. So that includes parents, siblings, spouses, children, anyone that needs assistance with immigration related legal support can access that. and I'll have Kayla talk about the Undocumented newsletter and then anything else that she's experienced through our resources.
So for our Undocumented newsletter, we do send that out every 2 weeks, so it's a bi-weekly, and we send it out through your UC Merced email. And what we include there are our resources, current events or upcoming events that will coming up, as well as we always have like links to our emergency funds, to how to get an appointment with the lawyer when they do come and visit UC Merced in order for you to see them. And I feel like this is a good way for upcoming students to find out more about our resources, what's coming up, how you can meet us, where we're located, and any emails you'd like. And we also provide information on Ariana or anyone else that works in the office. And when it comes to peer-to-peer support, I think a lot of the times when students do come to the office is commonly when we have our Dream Act and when it's open, because a lot of the times students do struggle when applying or they have questions. So that's what we're there for. And if we need any more questions, Ariana is here for as well. And we do provide academic and social support. A lot of students do come to us when they have any personal issues, any academic issues, and we, as students that are there, we like lead them and let them know where they can find help, or we like also like walk them if they also need help with anything like that. We do access to emergency funds. That's something that I did utilize my first year because I did have to pay out of pocket a certain amount. So I remember that I wasn't able to pay because when you have that, when you have to pay like everyone.
Oh, the monthly, the payment plan?
Yeah, so I had done the payment plans, and I know that one payment plan I wasn't able to pay, so I did approach our services, and they allowed it to cover it. So that was something that like I was grateful for. And also our counseling and psychological support space. I think that's something that I love that we have, because we do tend to utilize that every semester, especially because sometimes our classes are hard or we face like issues being away from home. So I think that's like a good thing that UC Merced provides, as well as our program. And our legal support is like amazing to me, because I think that's something that not just I utilize, but my family as well, like your immediate family. Like for example, last semester my brother needed to renew his DACA, and because of our legal support at the UC, they were able to cover everything, so he did not have to pay anything, which is like amazing. And I think that's something that's good, just not just for us, but for our families as well.
Thank you, Kayla. And one thing as to share, in addition to the newsletter, is that you can actually go check that out right now. So if you're interested after this presentation or sometime this week before coming here for Bobcat Day, if you are coming, is that you can go to our main website, and on the page, I believe it's below our mission statement, there'll be a link for the Bobcat newsletter, so you can already start taking a look at some of the events that we're currently offering, and other resources that we have on our campus that we may be missing out in this presentation.
So here are quotes of our students. I was able to obtain a job that will help me get experience with my career. It also alleviated the stress of my legal status, which I often had to worry about and distracted me from my academic performance.
All right, so in regards to our specific programs that we offer, the major one for you all listening in is the Knowledge Empowers You, or our KEEP program, which is for either first year or transfer students, incoming students to UC Merced to take advantage of. So it will follow your summer orientation, and that evening you'll get to have dinner with us. You'll hang out with not just staff or students, but also we'll invite alumni, grad students. We'll have dinner. We'll do a student panel. We'll also do this year we're implementing a parent and guest panel as well. And then the following days, just back-to-back workshops of a Know Your Rights presentation, financial aid. We'll have the health insurance office come in to do a presentation on how to waive your health insurance, or the UC health insurance. And we'll do, students will also talk about what our best classes to take your first year. What else do we cover? We cover all those workshops, and then in addition to that, I think it's a great opportunity for students to meet other incoming students. So everything's covered. Housing is covered, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is covered, parking is covered, and then depending on how far you're coming, we will be able to cover some travel reimbursements as well. And then we have the Undocumented Scholars Academy, which is a 6-week career seminar experience. And through that experience, you get to learn how to build your resume, write a cover letter. You also do interviewing tips, interviewing skills. And towards the end, we do a celebration on finishing the academy, and you receive a $250 gift card for Kohl's for professional clothing as well. And we have the Undocumented Leadership Series, which is similar setup, but this one's a bit longer, and it's for building your leadership skills. And you will get, after completing the series, you get a free t-shirt, and you can advance to the next tier of the leadership program. And you also get access to the, oh my gosh, what do you call it? You get one of the badges, which I know y'all aren't talking about badges just yet, but it will count for class. And then the volunteer program, so this is open for undocumented students and allies as well. So if you're interested in partnering with our office to volunteer at events, to create events, to help us out with our front desk, there's a multitude of opportunities there. And then we have our UndocuPeer and UndocuAlly training, which are trainings geared towards student allies and then also to staff and faculty allies as well.
Adding on for the key program, I actually was I the first?
Yeah, you were the first.
I was one of the first to attend the key program, and I think that was like a really nice thing that I attended. And I think something that I didn't think about was allowing one of my parents to come with me, because I didn't know much about UC Merced. I didn't know much about our services just yet. And I think that I encourage you guys to bring your parent if you can, because it helps them know how the process is, especially since you're going away from home if you do live like far away. Like, for example, I'm from LA, and so my parents were worried for me going away, and I think this was a good thing for me to attend, and I wish that my dad or my mom had attended, because I feel like they would have more of an open mind, and they would know like the resources, the programs, like anything that our program offers, and what also offers for them, like how I mentioned, our legal support. So I think that's like a good experience that I totally recommend all of you to attend. For example, our Undocumented Scholars Academy, last spring I did it, and I think that was another amazing experience, because it led to the job that I have today, for like when it came to cover letters, resumes, as well as interviews. And I think that wasn't something that I was like strong on and wasn't good on. So I think like that allowed me to help me grow and improve. I was able to meet with one of the Myra is
she's a career specialist.
She was a career specialist. She doesn't work here now, but it was amazing to meet with her, because she also helped me. So besides just being in a Undocumented Scholars Academy, I was able to, for example, when I applied for this job, I was able to send her my email, my resume, my cover letters, and for her to like be able to read it out, let me know, like give me feedback. So I feel like you get a lot of networking and connections through that as well. And then you also get a $200 gift card, and which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because I was able to, get professional clothes, because that's something that can be very expensive. For our Undocumented Bobcat Leadership Series, I did in my first year in the fall, and I think that was also a really good program that I attended, because I also grew as a leader, and I'm able to know and get more experiences. I have not done tier 2 or tier 3, but I will in the future. As a student coordinator, I facilitate the leadership series. So this semester and last semester, I was able to join Ariana and facilitate it with her and another student coordinator that is in with us. And I think that's an awesome experience, because I not only went through that series, but now I'm leading it, which is something that you guys can also do if you guys do attend UC Merced, we have our volunteer program, and I think that this program has grown since I've came more in contact with the office. And I feel like a lot of students, not just undocumented, but our allies are approaching us and volunteering with our program and are getting knowledge and like what us as students do and like the resources they share it out. And I think that's like making us evolve and grow as a program as well. And we do have undocu peer and undocu ally training, and I think that's also amazing because not only do we train our peers, but we train our allies, and it's good to see other people's perspective and be able to help them grow and know more about the undocumented community.
So we have two questions. If you
Oh,
have time to answer.
yes.
So the first question is, at UC Merced, is there a difference in the benefits that one receives if one is a DACA recipient and one who doesn't hold any immigration protection?
That's a good question. So in regards to the financial aid package, no, there's no difference. But when it comes to, for example, on-campus jobs, students who have DACA are eligible to apply for most on-campus jobs, except for on-campus jobs that may have funding through like federal money. But unfortunately for students who are undocumented with no work authorization, UC Merced jobs aren't available or open for you. So some of the things that we encourage our students who do not have DACA to participate in is some of these cohort-based programs. So Undocu Scholars Academy is something you can add to your resume, and it's something that provides a gift card as well. And the leadership series is something that you can also add to your resume and will build your leadership skills. And that goes the same way for the volunteer program. We are exploring different ways to provide fellowships to our students on campus through the Career Center, and that's something that's in work and in progress across the entire UC system. But if you require additional assistance, like Kayla mentioned, the emergency funds are there as well if you need them. And then in addition to our own emergency funds, the Dean of Students also has additional emergency funds to use. Something that we do as an office is to highlight different scholarships and fellowships and internships that are happening not just in the city of Merced, but also across the state of California and across the U.S. So one of those fellowships is actually the Dream Summer Fellowship, and Kayla received that today.
Yeah.
She got the congratulations
Yes.
email this earlier today. So whenever you see a fellowship, if you are a student that doesn't have DACA, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to apply, even if you don't think you have, even if you don't think you meet the requirements. I think you'll surprise yourself, and that's also something that we provide assistance with in terms of how to apply and reviewing resume, reviewing your statements, and assisting you in looking for fellowships as well.
I think that's something that I love about our office as well, because like for example how she mentioned that I did get into the summer dream fellowship. I applied last year and I didn't get in, but I feel like that's something that didn't discourage me from applying again, and this is the second time I'm applying and I'm getting it, you know. But I think that what also helped me was that I approached Ariana, I approached our student coordinators, and also like working in the BSC, the Bright Success Center, was able to help me network and meet other colleagues. For example, like this Leilani, who she's the director of the Bright Success Center, and I was able to, she was able to get to know my work ethics, and not just as a worker. Like if I didn't have this job, I would approach and go into the volunteer program, and they also see that. So I think that you're able to meet other people, and if they have something for example, that like how she mentioned, like internships or any like fellowships, you do get recommended by all these other colleagues that you have around yourself, like not just Ariana, but everybody else that works within that center, because all they want to do is help you, you know, and help you grow as a student.
There's one last question.
Yeah.
Can I work with an ITIN number?
So also a good question. So with your ITIN number, you're not eligible to work, but what you can use that number for is to be licensed as an independent contractor, which that's more than we can get into today because it's a little bit trickier. But connect through Immigrants Rising. They have a great like ITIN handbook on how you can work as an independent contractor. And essentially, you would use this ITIN number instead of a social security number, and you would work by contract. So if you have a skill set like, it's really popular to see this with like marketing, social media, if you're an entrepreneur, business, if you know how to code and can make your own website, things of that nature, you can work by contract with an ITIN number. But that's actually something we also cover in the Undocumented Scholars Academy, and it's something that that we want to focus more on to support our students who don't have DACA. And if you want more clarification on that, I'm happy to talk on the phone or via email as well.
So here are quotes from our key students that participated in the KEY program. From my perspective, this program has made me feel better about being an undocumented student attending UC Merced. It is necessary to create hope in the minds of many young people who have great potential that is often overshadowed or wasted because of the lack of information that allows them to develop.
And so that the first quote that Kayla read came from a student, and the second one came from a guest or a parent. And we actually had to translate that last one because it was in Spanish. So one of the things that we offer through the KEY program is that we do it both. We match the KEY program with the orientation. So at UC Merced, we offer Spanish-only orientations and also bilingual orientations. So the first 2 KEY program dates that you see on there will be all in Spanish, if we have all Spanish speakers in the room. And then the last 2 will be a mix of either bilingual or English and bilingual as well. But as I mentioned earlier, the KEY program is a 2-day program for undocumented students, their families, and their guests. And we provide completely free sessions. So we cover food, overnight accommodations as well. And again, as I mentioned earlier, depending on how far you're coming from, we can look into covering your travel and do a travel reimbursement for that. And if you want more information and to register, I included the link on there. Registration will open this Friday. So if you've already registered for orientation and you know when you're coming, make sure you match that orientation date with the KEY program. If for some reason you're not able to come to orientation at all, then you can still attend the KEY program. Attending orientation isn't a requirement to come to the KEY program. We just encourage you to do that since you'll already be on campus. But please look into applying for the KEY program. I can't emphasize that enough. I think it's something that a lot of students get, not just students, but families and guests get a lot from. And in addition to information, they're also getting to meet other parents and other guests. They're having the opportunity to meet incoming students, students who have gone through UC Merced, students who are alumni, students who are graduate students. So it's a definitely one of the programs that I think are highly sought out for undocumented students at UC Merced, and it's also one of my favorite programs for that we do outside of everything that we offer on campus.
Yeah, so I totally recommend to go. As Ariana mentioned, we do have Spanish and bilingual, and how I mentioned before, I wish that my parents had gone because I thought I wasn't aware that it was going to be Spanish, as an incoming student. And because there is, I totally recommend if your parents only speak Spanish to go, because they're able to understand like what our program offers, what offers to them, as I mentioned. And I just think it's a great experience. And I know orientation is just one day, but this is a 2-day program, and you're able to not only explore our services, but you're able to explore the campus even more. And you can go around and, know where classes can be, where everything's located. So I think that's like a good way to, get to know the campus more.
All right, so for our annual events, this is actually a picture from this past October through through our Immigrant Day of Action. And that happened towards the end of October. It's a national event that happens through forward.us. And it was a great event to see how many, not how many students we had show out and show support, but also to see how many faculty and staff. And we had over 130 people attend that event. That's actually been our largest attendance so far. Other things that we do that are annual are our fall kickoffs, which happen the first 2 to 3 weeks of classes. So if you do attend UC Merced, we'll do several days of fall kickoffs, not only for students to get connected to each other, but for you all to know what resources and programs we offer. Since we're continuously adding more programs and adding more resources, it's very important for you to come to these fall kickoffs at least once per year. And then we also have some of our more popular events and largest events are Undocu Week and our Undocu Bobcat graduation. Undocu Week usually happens the second week of April, and then graduation is the day before. Well, it's the same weekend as the other larger graduations that are happening. And also a very popular event, I think we usually have about 25 to 30 graduating students attend. But really the folks who show out are all the families and the parents and the guests that come out, and it totals to about like 120, 130 people. I think it's important to also know that both of these, the Undocu Week and Undocu Bobcat graduation, were events that were started by our student staff. So it was really all student coordinator led. There was no professional staff member that helped. It was all from students who organized and led those 2 very big events.
Like to add on, for Undocu Week, actually this week is our Undocu Week, so it's currently happening. And I think that this is something new that I gain knowledge about, because I know last semester I wasn't very involved, but this semester I am. And I think it's amazing just to see how like our community and our allies come together. And I think every day is a different day. So for example, yesterday we tabled, and we had other programs and other what are they called? Other programs and other
Student organizations.
Yeah, student organizations, sorry. We had other programs and students organizations table for us as well, and we had different workshops and little things happening around during that time. And I think that was a good experience, because we also not only received undocumented community to attend, but we also are allies as well, as I mentioned. And it's also helps other students know and be aware of our program. We do have also our Undocu Bobcat graduation, and this is my first year that I'm gonna attend, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm kind of sad because some of our students are going to be graduating, and I'm part of the committee. So we do have a committee, and other students were able to be part of this committee. Like Ariana mentioned, it's student led. So I think that it's awesome too for me to see that other students want to create this event and want to help out. And it's we're currently in the process of it, because it is next month, and I'm pretty excited about it because it's something new for me, and I'm gaining a lot of like group knowledge and how to like work with others and like others' ideas, which is amazing. We also have our fall kickoffs, and I think that's a good way for incoming students to get to know other students and to get to know our office as well. Like if you're not able to attend our key program, we also provide that information from our key program to our fall kickoffs, and we also have other workshops, and we get to know one another, and I'm able to get to know new faces, and that's a good thing. And our Immigrant Day of Action was actually a success, how Ariana mentioned, because we did have a lot of students attend, and not only undocumented students, but our allies, as I mentioned. And if you ever want to get to see like all of these events that are happening annually, you can always follow our social media, and we always highlight, like for example, yesterday we highlighted what was happening in a docu week. Today we highlighted the workshop that was also going on. So I think that's for you to able to also extend what how our program shows these these annual events.
All right. This is actually another picture from our Immigrant Day of Action. You can see the line that's forming. But I wanted to talk about some of the ways that we do some creative outreach. So through, I don't know how many you've heard of Define American, but Define American is a national organization that was started by Jose Antonio Vargas, who is known for being the journalist who came out as Undocumented on I believe, New York Times. He wrote a piece, and then he's directed a couple different films through Define American. But this national organization has college chapters as well, and this past year was the first year of Define American having a Merced chapter on campus. You can check out more information about them on the link there. But if you're interested in building community with other students through an organization, Define American would be one of the organizations that I would recommend. And in addition to that, you can always come to campus and create your own organization. So if you don't find an organization that fits your needs, I definitely encourage you to go out and create that organization that you're looking for.
So here's the picture of our Undocumented Bobcat newsletter, and as I mentioned previously, we do highlight what our services, what's going on within our program, any current events, any fellowships, internships, job applications that you can apply to. We also highlight our staff, our professional staff, as well as our other staff around our campus. For example, Charles, who is the vice chancellor, or our dean of students. And then we also provide a quote every time we do upload our Undocumented Bobcat newsletter, which is something that I find cool because you're able to get encouraged by all these quotes bi-weekly. And yeah, so anything that, like Ariana mentioned, you can always find this in our website and take a look.
Yeah, and so that takes us to our website. If you have any questions after today's presentation that we may not get to, on our website, you can scroll towards the top and it'll say academic support, legal support, financial support. It'll have a list of our programs, our ally trainings, and additional community resources as well. And if you scroll down on the homepage, you'll find a link for our newsletter.
And this is our link tree. So you can find our link tree in our Instagram page, where in the link would be in the bio, and you can always click on our link tree. And also, just like the newsletter, you're able to have all these links to like any internships. Like for example, we have our link straight to our website. So if you're having trouble finding our website, you can always just go and click, and it'll take you right there. Or our newsletter, it's always up to date. We have like RSVP forms if we have any workshops. Like for example, we tend to have self-care Fridays. So self-care Fridays are where we do little workshops where we provide like refreshments like ice cream, and then the care office comes in and just gives you like a small workshop and something to distress as a student. We also have, for example, conferences. So we do have links for you to attend conferences. For example, this past weeks we had our own DocuSem conference, which is something that if you're interested, you can, as a UC Merced student, you can RSVP to that. So there we have our upcoming events and we're links to, so you can find it easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And as an upcoming student, if you want to stay connected to us, we do have our Facebook page, our Instagram, and our Twitter. Our Facebook page, you can search us up as Services for Undocumented Students at UC Merced. We have our Instagram undocu_bobcats, our Twitter undocu_bobcats, and as well as our website. And I myself, as the student coordinator, do focus on our social media accounts. So I do provide pictures and information about anything that's going on, like our Undocu Week, graduation, any highlights. I do tend to highlight our student staff, our professional staff, or any other students who have accomplished anything within our program or outside. And if you ever want to stay updated and what our program provides, always follow us, because I think that's like a very good outreach for all of you to know what our program provides and see for yourself what we offer and what other students have within that attend UC Merced.
Thank you. And so, in addition to all of social media, I think the picture on the right represents how supportive our UC Merced community is of undocumented students. We had 3 huge banners, like the one you see on there, right after the DACA rescission. So it happened, I remember, September 5th, and it was around like 8 a.m. and we were all watching Jeff Sessions talk about the rescission of DACA. And immediately, one of my student coordinators from the time took out a banner and started writing these posters. And then we went outside and we started tabling. Even though you have to have a permit or reservation for tabling, we just showed up. And we had a lot of students, staff, faculty. We had the dean of students. We had the vice chancellor. We had a lot of folks sign these banners, and with messages of support, with messages in solidarity, and then a lot of undocumented students also sharing how they felt on these banners. So I think not just the programs that we offer and the resources that we offer show the support that we have, but also the overall community outside of our office shows that we are here to support our undocumented students.
Adding on to Ariana, I think that's something that I love about our campus, not just our program, because our campus is very diverse, and I feel like we're very united because we are a very small campus. You're able to meet people and see them and like say hi to them, you know, because they're like, we're such a small campus that we get to know one another and we get to support one another, whether we're in the same community or not. You do have allies, as I mentioned, and everyone just shows us your support. And like how I mentioned, I am from LA, so I am away from home. I'm glad I came to this campus because it is away from home, but I never feel alone because I do have the support of our services. I have the support of other programs and other groups that are part of UC Merced. So I think that's something that not a lot of campuses do have. And me as an undocumented student, I don't ever feel like an outsider.
Thank you. So if you have any questions, happy to take them now. If nothing comes to you or if something comes to you later in the day or in the week, you can reach me via email on there or through my phone number. And then if you have any like quick questions or if you don't feel comfortable calling or emailing, you can also DM us. I think that's really popular on Instagram, is even something as simple as where's this event located, or where are you located for Bobcat Day. You can feel free to DM us. I think we'll respond very quick. Yeah. We try to make sure to respond through like Instagram DMs as fast as possible as well.
Pull up your chat real fast. You got a couple questions in there.
It doesn't come up. That's why I was. Oh,
it's
coming up over here. Okay, got it. Okay, so let me see. I'm going through the questions right now.
So the first one's going to be at 643, can you still receive health insurance if you're undocumented?
Oh, I see it. So if you don't have DACA, you wouldn't qualify for Medi-Cal, but you would have to pay the UC ship insurance on our campus. So it would be a little bit more expensive, and you would have the extra charge. But we would recommend you to do that because you have to have health insurance in order to attend UC Merced. But if you need assistance in paying that, you can request it through our emergency funds as well.
But I think that our health insurance, it's mandatory for you to do have health insurance. So everyone does get, whether you're undocumented or not, health insurance from our campus. It's just that whether if you have like medical and you want to transfer it and not having to pay that fee, because like for example, I have medical, but I still haven't done the transfer, so I still do pay the insurance from our campus. But we're just saying that because you do have options when it comes to health insurance.
And then for the AB 540 question, it says the AB 540 form asks the names of schools you have attended. Would we write the names of the schools we've attended in the past 3 years only, or in total? Let me go back to that form.
I think it is just for the last 3 years.
Yeah, I can have it up. Yes, it would be just the last 3 years.
Yeah. Well, for example, like I had put all the
put all your schools
only just to like for like safety, but I did have to redo that form again, and I did just put the last 3 schools, and I was perfectly fine. Or the last 3 years. Yeah.
And when's orientation? And then Dustin just answered that question.
Thank you.
And then for, I think, for my email, that I had it in the last slide there as well. Are there any other questions that we can answer while we're here?
Feel free.
Yes. It doesn't have to be specific to our services
It can
or
be about
program.
campus. Any questions for, like, I'm a student, so if you have any questions. Oh, transportation.
Transportation, yeah.
Do you mean transportation within, like, the city of Merced, or transportation within, if you're coming away?
Oh yeah, I think you can cover.
Yeah. Okay. So transportation within Merced, we do, if you do live off campus, we do have cat tracks, which they're buses just for students, and you're able to get into cat tracks with just your student ID. So cat tracks takes you to like any like local restaurants, anywhere local that you like to go. For example, like they have different stops and different buses for like different purposes. For example, if you live in like, there's this off campus, on campus type of thing, and it's called the Heritage Apartment. So there's like a bus stop for that. There's a bus stop for any restaurants, Target, anything local. So you can always travel if you do not have a car and live on campus, or even if you do live off campus and you don't have a car or transportation, the cat trucks are always going to be there, and there's like bus stops everywhere around Merced. And then, yeah.
Yeah. And I saw a couple more pop up in regards to Bobcat Day. If you have any questions,
so Bobcat Day is this Saturday. So Bobcat Day is this Saturday, and where did you have to RSVP?
Yeah, I think folks, you can still show up if you haven't RSVP'd though.
Okay.
And then have there been any sort of rallies or protests that endorse pro-Trump immigration comments? On campus, there haven't been any, I wouldn't say any rallies, but we do, on campus, we do have the, oh my gosh, what's their name? The Republican Club on campus, and there have been incidents where they've tabled and had like inflammatory signs, not just at our undocumented community, but also against other identities on campus too. But outside of tabling, there hasn't been any rallies or protests. And then there's a question about wanting to visit UC Merced for the KEY program. So transportation won't be provided, but depending on how far you're coming, so if you're, I haven't set out the exact markers of how far is far, but if you're coming from LA, we can definitely cover, we can do a reimbursement for transportation And what hardships do you think most undocumented students come across during college?
Well, for me personally, I think that at first, because I wasn't involved with like our services, and I feel like I was very shy and I didn't want to approach because also in high school I never like disclosed my identity as undocumented. So I think that was something that it was new to me when coming to college. So I totally understand that, but I think once I was like when I once I did approach our services was because I was interested in the Docu Scholars Academy and the BLS when I saw it in the Key program, and I signed up. And it was funny because I did live off campus my first semester, I was not able to do them only because it my schedule wouldn't work well. So my second semester I did attend the BLS and both of them, and I didn't realize that one of my suite mates that lived in that same floor wasn't documented, and she attended the same thing. So I think that it opened my mind and it let me know that other students are in the same position as I am, and they just want to get to know other students. So I think that just hardships that I did face as an undocumented student was just feeling alone at first, but you're not alone because you do have our services. You do get to meet other people who share same experiences as you. So I think that's something new that I did learn as I grew as a student here at UC Merced. And how I mentioned, we are a diverse college, so you don't ever feel alone, whatever diversity you are, because we do tend to have everyone as a community, and we just uplift each other most of the time.
Yeah, and then in regards, there was a question about coming from LA in regards to accommodations for UC Merced to make it possible to attend Bobcat Day.
Not the key
Yeah, it has. We, as far as our office is, we're hungry. As far as our office is concerned, we don't offer any specific housing accommodations for Bobcat Day. We only do that for the Key program. However, I can definitely get back to you on that question and see if there's anything that either UC Merced can do or our office can do in regards to paying for any housing or for travel as well. But I can't confirm on answering that just yet. And then there's a question in regards to paying. So do admitted students have to pay their direct costs right away, or are there payment plans?
As mentioned previously, we do have payment plans, so you're able to sign up, and in our Q program, that's where I learned about our payment plans, and we're able, like within that day, we're able to help you out, and like we'll let you know where like everything's located in the website, and we do offer that help. But if you do have any questions once you do have that issue, you can always approach us and let us know, and we can always help you. But there are payment plans, so you don't always have to pay it right away. You do have that option as well.
If we don't own a car for the whole 4 years, can we get that waived, or how does that work?
So there are a lot of students who don't own a car at all within their 4 years. But how I mentioned, we have bus transportation, so that's something that a lot of our students utilize who don't have a car. And if you have not yet like came to Merced, our campus and the city of Merced isn't very big, so there's always going to be transportation if you don't have a car within our cat tracks, because how I mentioned, our city is very small, so there's always bus stops everywhere.
And when there's events hosted that are off campus or in the downtown community, for example, a very popular one is Cat Crawl that happens at the beginning of the semester, in the fall semester, that they usually provide transportation or shuttles from campus to downtown. Okay. Any additional questions or anything that we didn't answer or missed? So it says, is it possible for immigration officials to come to UC Merced? Because some schools have reported that immigration officials are on campus. So the state of California passed SB 54, and that limits any interaction between a public organization or public unit, so for example, a school, with any collaboration with ICE. So I guess immigration officials in regards to ICE specifically, they are not able to come to UC Merced campus unless they have a warrant out for someone. But we do have procedures in place if something like that were to happen with one of our students or with a staff member or faculty member on campus. And so we have attorneys that would aid in that. And then we also provide trainings in regards to our staff and faculty for how to interact if they ever come in contact with ICE officials.
We haven't had any issues with that.
And we haven't had anything at UC Merced, not even specific to Merced community. I think the things that we have seen in regards to ICE in the Central Valley has usually been more directed towards what do you call them? Like I guess at factories or at larger corporations.
But not students or our campus.
No, nothing directed to students and nothing directed at our UC Merced campus. Yeah, I'm hungry too.
So one question came in.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything required, like identification of Californian when staying at UC Merced? Asking if there's like a California identification when staying at UC Merced.
Like for the statement of residency, like interested that. Yeah. You're good. I'm hungry too.
It's late.
Yeah. I haven't had dinner yet.
If you guys do have any more questions that you think of later on, you can always DM us on our Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah. Thank you all for staying engaged with us and having so many great questions.
Yes.
Oh, yes. So if you submitted the AB 540 form and it's still under review, please do not be discouraged before May 1st. That honestly will not be looked at until June after you submit your transcripts for your schools. And even after it's actually been processed, you won't see that change on your financial aid package, sometimes not even until a week or 2 weeks before school starts. So please don't be discouraged if it's still in process.
As previously mentioned, like for example, my personal experience, I think that was something that I was not aware of, like you guys. So I think like when I saw like my bill or I was able to see my my financial aid, I was a little discouraged, and that's something that my parents were very worried about because it did say that I had to pay like out-of-state tuition, and I was kind of like, am I gonna have to pay like all that money? But I didn't. So, but because that took a little while, so don't be discouraged. They're gonna be able to fix it within like a couple weeks later or until like August. How I mentioned, like I didn't get mine fixed until like 2 weeks before school started. So
make sure you tell your friends that if you know you have an undocumented friend coming to UC Merced or another UC, that it does take a while for that form to actually go through. I know we've heard a couple students not come to the KEY program or retract their admission because they didn't see the change on their financial aid.
And if you do have questions and you do attend Bobcat Day or the KEY program, let us know. We'll try to give you an answer and help you out.
Any questions that we missed or final questions? I think it's already, we've hit the 7 o'clock, so we're wrapping up.
There was that clarification on that last question.
In case so I don't think we've had any issues at UC Merced with, I guess, our police department asking for identification. If it were to happen on campus, you can use your student ID, but our PD on our campus is very welcoming of our undocumented students and has supported our undocumented students in the past if there's any issues that happen off campus. But no, you do not need to show your California ID to a UC Merced police officer if asked.
Unless you're being stopped because you're speeding, obviously
Yes.
you do have to
Yes.
show your license and stuff like that. But other than that, no.
Okay, I think that's the last question.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're ready to
Awesome.
say, thanks for everyone for coming.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us today. Hopefully you can join us at Bobcat Day, and then we'll definitely get back to you in regards to what accommodations we can provide or any type of financial support we can provide for you to join us at Bobcat Day. And if you're not able to join us, hopefully we'll see you for the KEY program. And then if not, then we'll see you in the fall semester.
Yes.
Please feel free to reach out through email, phone calls, social media.
DM us, guys. We're here.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.